The Borisbus, Borismaster, the new Routemaster, the new bus for London. This vehicle has many different names it's referred to. 1,000 of these buses roam the streets of London daily, and they signify a piece of current Prime Minister Boris Johnson's legacy as Mayor of London from 2008 to 2016. Depending on who you ask, the Borisbus has been a roaring success, while some people would say it's been a waste of money which then could have been spent on other projects. The first new Routemasters came into service following the withdrawal of the original Routemaster in 2005, last running on Route 159. As part of Boris Johnson's Blue 2008 London mayoral campaign, he pledged to bring back a new version of the iconic AEC Routemaster bus. To be fair, the original Routemasters were near the end of their regular shelf life. They featured an antiquated boarding process, required a conductor, and were not accessible to those in wheelchairs or for those with limited mobility. A modern version of the bus would have helped keep its legacy intact whilst being built with modern specifications. There was an open design competition launched in 2008 with a whole load of wild and funky designs submitted. The two submission categories ranked up a staggering 700 entries, with a number of them being sent to the winning bus manufacturer to form the final design. Bus, the winning manufacturer, unveiled the final design in May 2010, working with designer Thomas Heatherwick to create the bus we know today. Incidentally, the Borisbus introduction came in coincidence with the replacement of the legendary bendy buses, the best buses on the network at the time. Boris had also pledged in his campaigns to get rid of them on the grounds that they were unsuitable for the city. The Borisbuses replaced them on a number of routes, including the 38, the 73, and the 453 amongst others. All of them which are still running these buses to this day. Over a span of 6 years and a number of orders, the fleet went from 1 bus to 1,000 buses operating all across London's bus network. The Borisbus is iconic for its design, with 3 sets of doors, the front and the middle being your standard double doors and the third being a large single door. When the buses first came into service, they operated with a conductor who would be able to control the doors and configure the rear door to be fixed open as a hop-on, hop-off platform. At this time, you were able to jump on the bus through any door and validate your Oyster card or contactless card on board. Guards were gradually phased out of regular service by September 2016, cutting 300 jobs from the network, saving Transport for London £10 million a year. Newer models of the Borisbus have a more conventional sliding back door which is just controlled by the driver. Even if the job cuts saved £10 million a year, procuring and operating these buses was still expensive. Each bus cost an average of £355,000 to purchase from its manufacturer. This was roughly twice the cost of a regular double-decker at the time. Let me just say, it's taken a while for me to quote, like the Borisbus, and over the years it hasn't helped with the number of issues and faults they've had. In 2015, after 550 new Routemaster buses had already been delivered, £2 million had to be spent to retrofit the buses with windows that open. The original batches of Borisbuses did not have windows you could slide open. All there was a quite tragic excuse of an air conditioning system which blew air like someone was just whistling on you. No power, no air, no cold. Imagine a summer's day on a packed upper deck. It was literally like a sauna. The windows now make it a bit better, but it's still not ideal. Also, in 2015, a number of buses had suffered battery malfunctions, meaning they could only operate in diesel mode, basically defeating the point of a bus being a hybrid. To make matters worse, it was found that these buses ended up emitting more harmful PM10 and PM5 air particles than older buses, like the trusty ALX 400. Man, I miss these. Wait, give me a second, I need to be alone for a second. Boris left his role as Mayor of London in 2016 and in came Sadiq Khan. There were opportunities for Khan to buy more Borisbuses for the city, but then it was announced that there wouldn't be any more orders put in for the Borisbus, with the last one being delivered in December 2017. Alongside the Borisbus, there have been a number of variations produced, supposedly to be able to promote the bus to other UK markets and abroad. The Borisbus hasn't been used by anyone other than Transport for London. Bus also designed the SRM, the son of Routemaster, which had only 2 sets of doors and 1 set of stairs compared to the Borisbus. It was available to order from 2016 to 2019, but the only buses manufactured were built at release in 2016. Although you could say that some of the features prominent on the new Routemaster have been carried on to Alexander Dennis's Enviro 400 city buses, which have been in production since 2015. Fast forward to early 2020 and Transport for London announced that passengers will now need to board from the front door only on Borisbuses. It was found, unsurprisingly, that having 3 doors to enter from meant it was highly likely that some passengers would evade paying their fare. Of course, you've got no conductor on board and the driver can't track the movements of 30 to 40 people all getting on and tapping their Oyster card, innit? TfL estimated that more than £3.6 million was lost each year from people not paying their fare on Borisbuses, and it was a big concern. After a pilot on the number 8 between Bow Church and Oxford Circus, a very busy route, TfL found there was no real impact on how long it took for passengers to board and alight the bus. So there, in came the front door rule. This took away much of the idea of Borisbuses emulating a classic Routemaster. Anyways, the Borisbuses are due refurbishment. They've been out on London's roads since 2012, hashtag Olympic Games legacy. According to Time Out, the first 2 are in the workshops now, getting a new lick of paint and some fresh seats. The ongoing funding dilemma with the government, please, just give TfL money, I beg, please, hasn't really helped with the refurbishment projects, with original reports saying that the Borisbuses could have been scrapped. Let's wait to see how the refurbished fleet looks when they return. You could compare these buses to a jar of Marmite. You either like them or you don't. It's quite obvious that these buses were used as a political tool for Boris Johnson when he was mayor. These buses were one of his vanity projects, like that stupid bridge, the Dangleway, and the Boris bikes, even though that was former Mayor Ken Livingstone's idea. Boris pushed the idea of the buses being a return to the good old days of the Routemaster buses, being another innovative piece of British engineering, creating a legacy that would never be forgotten. In my opinion, the bendy buses have had more of a legacy than the Boris bus, and they've been gone for years. Even though I say all this, I still like the buses. They are iconic in their own fashion with the sleek curves and the double set of staircases. They could use a little bit less red and some stronger lights though. Most Londoners would agree with me, we all have a soft spot for them, even though they might not have turned out to be as revolutionary as we would have wanted.